Welcome to Toffee TV. It's the Footy Show. It is the Footy Show.
Should have done this probably before we started, but yeah, sorry. Sat up.
Sat up, it's fine. It's Patreon. They'd expect nothing less than you sitting up.
Yeah, well.
You know what I mean? I mean, if they come for professionalism, they've come to the right place because we've got multicams. Quick, switch the camera. Show them what we've got. Switch it back. Oh my God.
See, multicam.
So good. So good.
Footy Show.
Footy Show. No Premier League show obviously this week, because guess why? No Premier League. I mean, there's no Premier League last week.
I was going to say we didn't do
that. Oh, you know what? We were really busy last week.
No.
And I think...
One point.
No, sorry, apologise. I think you appreciate that there was no Premier League show. But let's start with a bit of Premier League news. It's the news that's rocked the world. The news that has rocked the world. Pochettino is out. Mourinho is in. Tottenham Hotspur, discuss.
Worst kept secret ever.
Is it the worst kept secret?
For about a week. No, I mean, to be fair, it's been bubbling, hasn't it? We talked about Mourinho because obviously, in my opinion, he's the best manager out there without a club at the moment.
That's not the case.
That's changed. So therefore, he was always going to be attracting the interest of clubs. You know, Arsenal were linked with him a few weeks ago when Emery was, you know, the rumours about Emery, but they've come out and kind of said he's, what all that's about, he's our manager. Well, maybe. But that's what they've said. And then obviously Tottenham, you know, the thing with Pochettino is done an incredible job there. Well, he's done a really good job there. Hasn't won a trophy, which is always going to be something he'll be beaten with. You know, seen friend of the show, Kevin Campbell, Instagram posted like Tottenham's greatest manager ever, and all the trophies with like nil all the way down. But from us who haven't got that rivalry with Spurs, he's a brilliant manager and he's done really well. But they've been poor in 2019.
Yeah, I find it. See, it's dead easy from the outside looking in to go, what are they doing? What's happening? What's going on? But I remember speaking to Flav when we did something. I did something for his podcast before we played them, and he was like, "If we get beaten this game, he's getting the sack." And I was like, "What?" Because we were talking about Silver and Pochettino. It's just dead weird. But if it's your club and you know what's going on behind the scenes, and you watch them every week and it's deteriorating, we see the results and go, "Oh, it's probably just a slump." But this has been going on for like 6, 7, 8 months now, where they've been playing poorly. They haven't won an away game since January. That was Fulham. The Champions League masked a lot of the problems. And I've read something today in this letter, saying about how he had sort of took his eye off the ball and he was working his players really hard. And in fact, Tottenham players were saying when they were at events and stuff was like, don't catch his eye. Don't catch his eye. Because if you make eye contact with him, he'll find a reason to have a go at you. That's what they were saying. You know, like, so it seemed to me, it feels like to me that he wanted that Man United job. And he was told he couldn't have it. Because it's no coincidence that Tottenham's slump started around the same time of Man United, the Man United job. I think he wanted it. And I think he's not been putting 100% in, but expecting his players to put 100% in. And his players have just gone, why are we getting worked like absolute dogs when this fella's cutting corners on what he does? I think that's been one of the problems. They've stopped playing for them because he stopped managing them like he used to, I think. I think that's half the problem. That's what it seems like if you read this thing anyway. And it's all ended up where it is. And I think if you're close to the club, you'd understand that. I think Levy understands that. I think Levy's seen a manager who was basically creating problems. Now, he may have been creating problems to get out, but there's been a lot of stuff. Do you think it's funny because I've seen that thing said about, the Champions League as masking it. But do you think for a club like Tottenham, you know, you've got to pick your poison, and the Champions League is what they did, and if form went by the side, it's just the way it is.
Well, no, because Liverpool are contrary to that, weren't they, last season? They haven't got a big squad.
But they weren't necessarily the season before.
No, but last season, and they ended up winning it, beating Spurs. You know, we were in Germany in February, and Tottenham played Burnley away, if you remember. And if they'd have won that day, they went within something like 2 points to Liverpool and City.
Yeah.
So they would have been right in the championship race in February, towards the end of February. And they got, as it happened, he got beaten. He came on the pitch, if you remember Pochettino, when he gave it, it all kicked off, didn't it? And since then, they've never really recovered league-wise. They slipped away. They ended up losing as many games as Everton last season. It's just they won a hell of, they won a lot of games as well. But like I say, if you look at his record in 2019, I'm sure they've lost 19 games this year, which is too many for a team like Spurs. They've got a talented squad. I can't comment on whether he's took his eye off the ball as a manager. I'd be very surprised if he's not doing everything he can to get results, because no one in football, it's all about ego. Whatever level you're at, whatever job you've got, you're always trying to be the best you can. But if the players feel like, we don't know behind the scenes at Spurs whether in his mind, there was big talk of United in February and March, big talk, and then they give Solskjaer the job. Now, did they give Solskjaer the job because Pochettino said, no, I don't want it? I remember I thought he'd go, and you were saying, no, I think he might have one full season in the new ground. But that made no sense to me, because it was like, well, if that's your goal, to go to that, arguably the biggest club in the world, them or Real Madrid, and you stay, why are you staying? If your goal's to get there anyway, why are you delaying?
Because I thought he'd built that, and he'd helped. Right, I mean, he should have helped build the stadium. Would have got built a bit quicker, but he helped build all that, and I thought he would have wanted 1 year to see his plans out. But I think what the problem is a lot of this stems back as well from when they didn't buy anyone for 2.5 years, and I think what you're seeing now is that, in effect, when you buy players now, you've got to buy players like a year before literally you need them. And I think far too many players went out the door, like Dembele, and weren't replaced quick enough, or weren't replaced where it wasn't a crossover. Players need time to settle now in the Premier League, physically and mentally and whatever. They need time to settle. We've seen that. And I think what you've seen a team grow old together and not have natural replacements. Like, look at Danny Rose. Danny Rose should not be anywhere near the Spurs team. They tried to get rid of him on deadline day to Watford, and yet they couldn't, and now he's like their first choice left back. Why? Because they didn't buy. And
he's just come up and said, no matter what happens, I'm not leaving till my contract's up.
But that's because he never got first top class quality to replace him. The centre backs, the goalkeeper.
Well, 3 out the back 4 are all out of contract.
Exactly. And I think this is, and you were away, and I remember doing a footy show. I can't remember whether it was with Andy, but where he was moaning about the transfer window and kicking off about it. And you could see it then. And he was going, Ericsson might go and all this. And it was like, and I remember saying at the time, why haven't you got control of this situation? Why haven't you made sure that you say something like, he's not leaving? As far as we're concerned, the transfer window's shut now. But he didn't. He was labouring on the point. And I think what he was saying was, I actually needed longer because these aren't buying players for me, or they're not buying the players I want. And I think that's been the big thing in the end, is that he's not been able to buy the players he wants, take Spurs to where they want to go. It's working with players who were in there last year. And it's all just come to a head. And you've got players who don't want to be there, players who feel like they're getting worked too hard and have not got the rewards. Maybe he said, if you...
Getting worked too
hard. No, that's not me saying that. What I mean is that he may have said, you work extremely hard and we'll get the rewards. Another thing I think, and I'm not, listen, this is just me thinking out loud. I actually think the decision to play Harry Kane in the Champions League may have annoyed a few players, because I think it was completely the wrong thing to do. I think those players in the semi-final who got them there, like Son and Moura, who worked hard to get them there, were completely pushed to the side by Kane coming back, and it completely destroyed them because Kane was nowhere near fit. And I think he would have been a better option coming off the bench. But that struck me as a manager who didn't believe that he was going to get there again, because I think managers who believe in their team would go, right, we'll get it here again. We'll have another chance of this, because I know our team are good enough. I know, and I think when Spurs got to the Champions League, that was him going, we're never going to get here again. We were lucky to get here. And I think that's just not having belief in your team. So I think all those factors have come to a head, and what's mad is it's not like for him, I just think he's gone sound. I can get jobs elsewhere. I'll be fine. So on we go.
Yeah, I mean it is a weird one, but then again, he's been here 5 years.
Yeah.
And when you've been at a club 5 years, the way it is with the intensity and the pressure and everything else, and players nowadays, want to move around. They don't really want to listen to the same voice for longer than for that period of time. Maybe it's just the right time for everyone to part company. You know, the cycle has ended. They haven't won anything. Yeah. So if you don't win anything in a period of time, people will question him. So you get people like Harry Kane, who's massively influential in that dressing room, the captain, might be looking at him and going, he's not all that. We've done everything he said, like you said, we've done all this and we've won nothing. You know, we've come close a couple of times, but we've never won anything. Whereas if he'd have won a cup in the way, he would have been able to. Do you know what I mean?
Didn't get to any of the finals either, did they?
They got
semi-final of the FA Cup a couple of years ago.
Were they beaten in a League Cup final by Chelsea, wasn't it? Chelsea beat them, didn't he? But they haven't really done. They had like a couple of FA Cup semi-finals, I think. He was runners-up in the league, wasn't he? I mean, the year Leicester won it, they should have won it.
They should have won it.
You know, they blew it. And that, going to Stamford Bridge that Monday night and having two men and a fight and all that, and it just all unravelled because they had the best side. They were a better team than Leicester. Leicester done brilliantly, but they were a better side. And so he'd look at that probably, and as a player, he'd look at that and go, why did we lose it from that position? It's mad because he'll walk away and people will call him an unbelievable manager and this, that and the other. But Spurs, their players are probably might be thinking, well, thank God for that. You know, we start again now. It's difficult, isn't it? Because if, you know, we've had a lot of conversations about managers over the last couple of months with a lot of people.
Definitely.
And how you quantify it and how you qualify a manager and what a manager does. Is he good? Isn't he good? Is it down to a little bit of luck which helps you, or is it other factors as well? All his backroom staff have gone as well. So the whole thing's gone. Yeah. Now, wouldn't surprise me if he rocks up at Madrid in 6 weeks and Zidane, because I know Madrid are second in the league at the moment, but Zidane's like that, isn't it? And they wanted him. Or the other one is Manchester United, who wanted him anyway. Now, imagine if he goes to United. So you've got ex-Man United Mourinho at Tottenham and ex-Tottenham Pochettino at United.
What about Barcelona?
Didn't he say he'd never managed Barcelona?
Well, he managed Espanyol,
yeah.
So I can understand that.
I'm sure he said he wouldn't manage.
Didn't Mourinho say he'd never managed Tottenham?
He did. But depends which one's got the better principles, I suppose, doesn't it? Or, I mean, can you have those principles? It's football and it's Barcelona, a massive club.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he missed the boat on winning something. I think after 5 years, you've got to win something and to get that respect, you know, because people will just go, and you can go, well, we had Man City and we had Liverpool and we had this and we had that, but you've got cup competitions there, like you said, you got Leicester as well. What is mad is we're less than 12 months. Well, it's 11 months since they come to Goodison Park and absolutely give us a football lesson.
They were the best team that come to Goodison last season by a mile.
That's the mad thing, isn't it? But when I go back to you saying before about the Champions League.
But I'd qualify that by saying the other week they were one of the worst that has been to Goodison for a while.
But what I would say is, though, going back to what I said before about the Champions League last year, I think with the size of their squad, you know, saying they're like Burnley, now that probably followed a Champions League game. And I think that
before it, because it was 12:30 on a Saturday, wasn't it? So it was before whoever they were playing.
Yeah, so Dortmund,
exactly, it was before the Dortmund game.
So that's the point. What I was saying now is that in those games, I think the back end of last season, he had pinpointed the Champions League, and those not pinpointed and say I'm taking this more than this. It's just that for the league games, I think he expected his players to be up for him, and they couldn't. And I think that's where.
Don't forget, they've got a conundrum as well, Spurs, in that they've got Harry Kane, who's a marvellous centre forward, but they've never been able to build anything like a squad around him in terms of cover for him, because no one, when he's not playing, the drop off. I know Son and Moura have done well. But when Harry Kane's not there, they're not the same side. And they've never been able to have someone who can come off the bench who's comparable to him. They tried it with Llorente, it didn't work. They bought Vincent Janssen a few years ago from Holland. Big unit, didn't work.
But that says more about... I think that says more about how they are run rather than how they are managed, because I still think they are run like not like a small club. That'd be wrong to say, but I think they're still run in a very conservative kind of way. They're not, like we said, they didn't have all that money.
I think they're brilliantly run.
No, I know, but I don't mean that though. What I'm saying is that they haven't got the money to go and carry this big squad. They simply don't. So when they are going to buy, if they're looking to buy someone, they can't go, we're going to spend 40 million on a strike who sits on the bench, or you know, we can't carry an extra player. The players on the bench are very modest compared to the players on the pitch.
They are, but then again, I think you'd say that about Liverpool.
Yeah, but I think
if Salah's out, Origi comes in.
The difference with Liverpool is the difference with Liverpool is they've got 3 world-class strikers.
No, I know, but what my point about Liverpool, why I'm bringing them into the argument, is when Klopp took over, Spurs were ahead of them. Spurs were ahead of them, but that's what I'm saying. They've battled with them, and now Liverpool are ahead of them.
But Spurs haven't.
Because they've...
But how many world-class players have Spurs actually got?
Harry Kane.
That's it. That's what I'm saying. They've got 1.
Yeah.
So they can't...
But he's created... Klopp has created that Liverpool side over a few years, whereas Pochettino hasn't.
So all the world-class players...
Levy hasn't.
All the world-class players are on the pitch. So you can have those backup players.
But then they'd say Hugo Lloris was a world-class...
No,
he's not. No,
he's shite. He's not. I do not rate him.
You know that my feelings on him, but I'm saying this is a fella that plays for the world champions and plays every game for France. For me, he's been poor for at least 18 months, really, for what he was, because he used to be a really good goalie that would make a rick every now and again. Now he makes ricks more than he gets them out of trouble. He's out anyway. He's injured. Siri loves that, doesn't he? Stop getting involved. But yeah, I mean, Alderweireld and Vertonghen were brilliant for years, but you're right, they've never been able to recycle. They should have sold Alderweireld to United when United wanted them, and oddly enough, it was Mourinho who wanted them, wasn't it? And they'd have probably still been at United had he got it.
See whether any of those players now sign contract.
Well,
so Mourinho's in anyway. Quick turnaround. The negotiations must have been really, really fast.
I think they used the counsellor who got Son sorted, so they got him as well involved in the negotiations. So that it was. But that, I mean, listen, that is how you do it. You get rid of one the night, and the next day the new manager's in. There's no 4, 5, 6 weeks arsing about putting a under 23 manager in and losing every game. You know, you go, who do we want? Right. I mean, all the journalists are saying that he tried to resign last week, Pochettino, and Levy wouldn't have it. Whether Levy's gone, no, I want you to stay, and they've had another conversation, and he's like, I want out, and Levy's gone, all right, we'll sack you, so we look like we're ruthless. We don't know.
I thought wasn't some journalist saying that they wanted him to resign, so he didn't get a payoff, and he refused to?
Well, today they're saying he tried to resign last week. Listen, it's whoever's spreading the narrative, isn't it? But Mourinho's in anyway. Whether he's a good fit for the club, I don't know, because he likes money, he likes old players, he likes... You know, and he will moan if he doesn't get the money. We've seen that. And he's going up against a fella who doesn't take fools, doesn't suffer fools gladly at all. And Levy he'll just say no for certain things. But
that's what Mourinho wanted when he was at Man United, didn't he? He wanted that buffer. He didn't want a money man. He wanted someone who sort of understood football, which Levy seems to do. And, I think what fits this time is that Mourinho obviously lives in London. So that's better for him, better with his family. Yeah. That'll solve a lot of problems that he had when he was in Manchester. And I think the time for both of them fits. It's like a 2-year, 3-year thing. For me, I think Tottenham will be looking at it and going, we need a trophy, short term. So if Mourinho could win them the FA Cup this year, then that suddenly goes, well...
That's off the back then, isn't it?
It's off the back, we've won a trophy, and we go from there. And you've got the stadium... And I think what's the other thing about it is you've got the stadium, you've got a manager like Mourinho, and they're doing all right in the Champions League. So it mightn't be a match made in heaven in terms of football or style, but I think the things they can offer each other are the things they need right now, both of them.
Listen, they both got something to prove, haven't they? A lot of people are saying Mourinho's done. His win ratio's gone right down. It's decreasing every job. He's out at, he's out of touch, but I don't believe this is just what people are arguing. The case for he leaves clubs in a mess, blah, 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 blah. So he's got something to prove, like you say, family-wise and all that. It works for him. They're a great club. They've got great stadium. They're in the Champions League. You know, the 14th at the moment, but like us, they're a win off 5th. So it sounds worse than what it actually is. He's a fella who can get you results anywhere because he's tactically brilliant. Whether Spurs fans will like the way they play, it smacks a little bit of when George Graham went there, to me, after he'd been the Arsenal manager, and people were like, he's a winner though and he'll get results, but the Spurs fans didn't like the style of football. But Mourinho's a big character, and if he can do, get them playing, then why wouldn't you?
But I think one thing I would say is I think Spurs have had everything they've wanted in the last 4 or 5 years, but without winning something. So now it might be like, their mindset now might be like, we've had everything we wanted and it didn't give us a trophy, so now let's just get that trophy.
Yeah, listen, I'm not against it. I'm just saying it'll be interesting to see how they work together, Levy and Mourinho. I imagine it'll start very well. They're at West Ham at the weekend, aren't they? 12:30 kick off the first game, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. But he's a great manager. He's been a great manager. He still is a great manager. He's still young, he's only 56 or something. He's got a lot to offer. I think his next job will probably be Portugal, so this may be his last club job. And he's at a place where maybe he can mould it. If he can get his head together and look at it a bit more long term, so he doesn't need 29, 30-year-olds, then who knows what he could achieve there, because they are waiting to pop, aren't they? And sometimes it is that one trophy that just goes boom, and then you're ready to go to the next level. Yeah, but it gives them a story every Friday now for the press conferences, doesn't it? So
it does. We'll wait and see what happens. That'll be very, very interesting. More drama in the Premier League, and currently they're on the same point as us, aren't they, at the moment? So
they are, yeah. They're a place above us on goal difference, so it'll be interesting. But Q West Ham 3, Tottenham 0 at the weekend.
Internationals obviously this weekend, coming to the end of the Euro qualifiers. England obviously, I think they won, what was it, 7-0?
7
to
and then 4-0
to confirm their qualification.
Yeah.
Won 4-0, obviously playing a lot of young players and stuff. Yada, 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 who cares? But Wales, Scotland, Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland all played, all trying to get to the Euros. No, what's weird? Remember last time the qualifiers were on for the Euros when it went to the Big Air? It felt like it was dead easy to qualify, whereas for some reason this time, I don't know whether it's because of the Euro League thing, and there's now slightly a different qualification.
You complicated the whole thing.
No, but it didn't. But by complicating, it didn't, because last time loads of the teams who finished third qualified, didn't they? So actually,
because they extended it.
So it feels like now it's gone back to the 2 teams, and everyone else has to go on this qualifying thing, which we'll talk about in a minute. So that league has actually made it so it's not just everyone qualifying. So Wales won their first game. Then they played Hungary, and it was winner take all, which made it good. They were playing at Cardiff. Wales won 2-0, 2 goals by Ramsey. So they've qualified second place in the group, and they're through. That's fantastic for them. Scotland
2 Euros on the run now.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. Scotland won 3-1. Stephen Naismith scored a goal, so they've got into the qualifiers. Third place, gone in qualifiers. Northern Ireland drew with Holland and then got beat 6-1 by Germany, so they go into the qualifiers as well. And Republic of Ireland needs to beat Denmark, I think, to get second place. They ended up drawing 1-1, so they've gone into the qualifiers. But it's a new system this year, which again, UEFA, whether you like it or not, are adding this sort of more competitive feel to it, I think. I know you don't like international football, yet you do like tournaments, so
I like the tournaments.
But I think this, so basically what happens is, so normally we have the system where, and I only found out about this like yesterday, so normally when you qualify in third place, you get drawn against another team and you play them home and away. Home and away, you and I. So what they've done this time is, you are drawn with 3 other teams, and then you are drawn 2 semi-finals, and obviously the 2 winners play each other in the final. The best teams play at home, so Ireland and Northern Ireland have both got to go away, but But if they win their game, that one-off game, they will play each other in the final, and whoever wins that will go to the Euros. So is that better than having a two-legged game against one team?
I don't know. I suppose it's a traditional semi-final, isn't it? So it's a one-off, winner takes all, to get to the final. But you're still playing 2 games. You know, I don't know. I mean, I suppose for an actual, like for a supporter to watch it, or just for a neutral, observer or whatever to watch it, they become 4 finals, don't they, then, to get there?
Yeah.
Whoever wins this, they're at the Euros. So I suppose from that perspective, it'll have that little bit of interest, won't it, when it's a final, especially the Battle of Ireland. I mean, that'll
Let's
be...
not use the word battle when we're talking about Ireland.
Okay, the Irish playoff,
yeah.
to get to the Euros, whatever. And the Euros is different anyway because it's spread across different nations next year. It's not hosted in one country. Yeah. So it's got a different feel about it anyway, but it's a bit convoluted to get there in terms of, you were getting in that UEFA Nations League help towards the it was all a bit mad rather than just traditional groups with play each other twice and the best teams get there. So it's complicated. Kevin De Bruyne is not happy, absolutely livid with it.
What's he saying about it?
He said it's a farce. He said it's not football anymore, it's a business.
Well, why though?
Because he said he doesn't know what's what.
But what's it got to do with it?
I don't know.
They pissed their group.
It's a scandal, honestly, he said. If football is not really football anymore, it's becoming a business. As a player, you get used to it. But for me, they are sort of falsifying the competition. It takes all of the pleasure away from the draw. Ronald Koeman said, I don't really understand this new format. I've asked my federation if I still need to bother going to the draw on November.
So is he talking about the actual draw for the
whole thing?
So how's that different then?
The draw for the second 24-team Euro will be held in Bucharest on Saturday. So basically, for the first time, next year's European Championship will be played in 12 different host cities. 12.
There's a reason for that, though.
I know what I'm just saying. In 12 different nations. Wembley stages the semis and the final.
Dublin's got a game as well.
So there you go. So that's 24. That's getting made on Saturday for the 30th. Okay. Right? So for the actual playoffs, we've got Iceland. So Iceland are in the playoffs, and they are in that playoff pot with Bulgaria, Israel, Hungary and Romania. Is there another game before? There's one more game before we've done this show, isn't there? Or do you know the result of that? Because there's 4 teams there to go with Iceland. Bosnia.
Hungary are definitely in it.
Yeah, so Bosnia and Herzegovina are playing Northern Ireland, so that's one semi, and Slovakia are playing Republic of Ireland. So if they win, they meet that day, and then the winner of that'll go into Pot B. Pot C, so you've got, Scotland versus one of Bulgaria, Israel, Hungary or Romania, Norway or Serbia.
Okay.
But Norway are playing Serbia in their playoff. And then you've got Georgia, Belarus and North Macedonia versus Kosovo.
Is this up to date?
This is the playoff draws will be held on Friday for the other 2 games. Yeah, that's what this is saying.
How's that?
And this is on BBC. I don't know.
Because
that's on there. Yeah.
Is that?
So this is the winner of the semi-final will contest the final. Okay. The draw, it's divided, like you said, into 2 semis. The winner of 4 playoffs then book their spot at the 2020 and will go into those pots.
So are they the pots?
So Path A is Iceland, Bulgaria, like I've just said, Israel or Romania. And then the Slovakia versus the Republic of Ireland. No, so we know that because that's wrong.
So is that pot A for the actual tournament though?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Path A, whoever wins that semi will go. Whoever wins the final will go into that. It's all. See, this is what we're saying. It's I'm more confused than when we started.
Okay. So, all right. I literally don't understand any of that, but that's fine. Someone will.
So for the draw on Saturday, for the 30th, when the draw's made, pot 1 has got Belgium. So this is for the finals. Okay. Belgium, Italy, England, Germany, Spain, and the Ukraine are in pot 1.
So France are not a top seed?
So France are in pot 2. France are seeded lower than the Ukraine.
Okay.
Pot 2, France, Poland, Switzerland, Croatia, Netherlands and Russia.
Okay.
Pot 3, Portugal, Turkey, Denmark, Austria, Sweden, Czech Republic. And pot 4, Wales, Finland, and the winners of 4 of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So the 4 playoff winners go in with
the bottom,
Finland and Wales.
Seeds.
That's as bottom seeds.
So France, the world champions and also the runners-up from the last Euros.
Yeah, are both ranked lower than the Ukraine and England.
Now that's farcical. That's farcical. But going back to what Kevin De Bruyne was saying, I don't quite understand what his issue is. Because I actually think the two-legged draw, okay, you got one team and you could plan who you're up against. But let's say they came to your gaff, beat you 2-0. It's all over, isn't it?
Well, what De Bruyne is moaning about, right, is UEFA have to ensure that host nations play group games on home turf while also keeping certain teams apart for geopolitical reasons.
Okay.
Much of the suspense has already gone from the draw, right? So they're not happy because the draw is kind of like, well, you couldn't meet them. But then that's what happens in the Champions League, doesn't it?
Hang on. I'm sure Paris are definitely a host nation. Host city, sorry. Paris is definitely a host city, so why aren't France in the top seeds?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about why,
I know.
why De Bruyne is moaning.
So who can't play
because
each other?
Koeman and De Bruyne are moaning, saying that Group B, there's no suspense in the draw, and because the draw you can only meet a couple of teams, there's no excitement in the draw anymore.
Who's asked?
Well, them, quite clearly.
You always pretty much know who you're gonna.
It's like the Champions League, like that, isn't it? They can't play them, and they can't.
They want all the best teams, and naturally all the best teams will play each other anyway. Who really wants to go into the latter stage of a tournament with a couple of really good teams and everyone else is garbage? Because you want good games of footy, don't you? Yeah. So, and the best, if
they're not happy, mate. Just accept it.
I like the qualifying thing anyway. I think that's.
I think the 4 finals, like the 4 playoff finals, will be good because the one-off games, and obviously the semis are one-off. But they've always been good games, though, haven't they? When you get to them play like the nervy games and all that, but that will be a mad.
I like
game.
that though. That there's finals.
Northern Ireland v the Republic of Ireland will be a mad.
I get the feeling neither of them are going to get to the final.
Well, they both got to do it the hard way. They both got to go away and win, and that's difficult because it's a one-off game. But then again, you can leave everything on the pitch, so you can go for it rather than trying to be cagey and go because when Republic of Ireland played the 2-leg last time, they got spanked 5-0, didn't they? So they were done.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
but what I like about it is that you play that first game and you've only got 3 days to,
and then you've got
again in a completely different team.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's a little bit like how the Nations League was last summer. With England and Holland and stuff, wasn't it? It was that game on a Wednesday and the game.
I prefer one-off games like that than...
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
What else is happening around the
Luis
world?
Enrique has gone back to being the Spanish manager, hasn't he? They qualified, obviously, had a couple of really good wins. Now, obviously, he left the job in the summer. His daughter died, sadly. And obviously, he took a period, came out the blue, didn't it? And it wasn't revealed till a little bit later. His assistant took over. And he's gone back, although I think his assistant's left.
Yeah, he's gone to be the assistant somewhere else, I think, hasn't he? Luis Enrique, in August, he stepped down for personal reasons 5 months ago, but he was replaced by Roberto Moreno. Moreno was in charge of Spain, beat Romania 5-0. But he's going to step aside for Enrique. Everyone knew that if Luis Enrique wanted to come back, he had the door open, said Luis Rubiales, the Spanish football president, on Tuesday. Luis Enrique will continue to the Qatar World Cup in 2022. So that's good. That is good to see him back in football, having to step away for the worst reason ever, the most horrific thing that could happen to him, but it's good to see him back in football. Saying to you there, Leo Bonucci signed a new deal at Juve till 2024.
Going back to the Euros though, it is good that Holland have qualified.
You want the big
Italy have qualified, all the big nations. Even if people saying it is good that we've got all the big nations. But one of the things that caught my eye was mentioned to you before, when Wales won last night, there was this flag that I'd seen on social media a few times actually. This Welsh flag with Wales, Golf, Madrid on it. And at first I was looking at it going, I was like, you just look at something, it doesn't click.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I seen Bale holding it, and I was like, oh. And seeing him last night holding it and thinking, this is good. I know obviously all the Wales fans are made up because it is a fan flag and it's got onto the pitch, and I've seen, as I said, I've seen stuff on social media, but that is going to be very, very interesting when he goes back to Real Madrid to see what reception those fans give him now.
Well, there's going to be some repercussions from it, isn't there? Of course there is. You know, he hasn't got the greatest relationship with Zinedine Zidane in the world or the Madrid fans, so, you know, wonder if it'll hasten his exit in January.
Do you think, though, that's a case of like, well, you started to get rid of me. I know you don't like me, but I know you've got to play me, so I don't really care. This is what I care about Wales. I care about getting to the Euros. I've done that. Yeah. I'm fit. I've played. Obviously, Ramsey played and scored the goals, and not asked. I'm just not asked. If you want to sell me, sell me.
It is difficult. I mean, he allegedly agreed to go to China for £1 million a week in the summer, and then Madrid pulled the trigger.
Then someone realised how stupid
that was. Well,
it
was Perez, wasn't it? Perez pulled the trigger on the deal late on and just said to Zidane, no, he needs to play. And then he played, and he was... But Zidane, for whatever reason, doesn't like him. So, I don't know. It's going to cause problems one way or the other, isn't it? Because Zidane's probably fuming over it, as well as the fans. But what can you do? Guardiola's agent ruled out a return to Bayern Munich. He was linked with the job. Obviously, Flick is in charge at the moment, and he's staying till... they're leaving him until January.
I actually seen Pochettino linked with Bayern Munich, but I just can't see that happening, personally.
I don't know,
when there's other big clubs that could come up in the next 4, 5, 6 months. Like, he could sign a deal now, couldn't he, to take over Real Madrid at the end of the summer, you know, behind the scenes. It wouldn't be a big deal if he did that, like.
I mean, he could, but also United, I think. You know, I think United. I think Man U now will be looking at it and thinking,
look at it.
This is the opportunity to get him now. He's left Spurs. It's now. It might be now or never, because Madrid may come for him. So I think there may be. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, Guardiola's just back on that one. Guardiola's contract expires in 2021, and he hasn't signed a new deal yet. You know, and that's. You know, there's big rumours him and Klopp will be leaving in 2021. Neither. Well, Klopp said he's unsure if he's going to stay.
I don't know if either of them will go, to be honest. I think maybe they'll sign like 1-year extensions, give themselves a little bit of breathing room.
Interesting. Very, very interesting to see what happens there. Bale also I know we've moved on, but I've just seen that in his interview, he said he enjoys playing for Wales more than Madrid, didn't he? So he said that's been caught. That's going out. He's going to go back with the flag thing and what he said. So maybe, you know what, maybe he's just thinking to himself, I'm going to get myself out of this club in January. And so the best way to do it is to start making it very difficult for them to play me, isn't it? Because, you know, I'm playing into Zidane. And obviously, that can change if Pochettino goes in there, if Zidane's moved on. Who knows?
From an Everton point of view, just sticking with the internationals, obviously Turkey qualified, they drew 0-0 with Iceland. Gylfi Sigurdsson was playing. Cenk didn't play, he's got an injury, he's got a groin injury, missed both games. So they've qualified, so Cenk Tosun will be in the Euros. Whether he's still in Everton, played at that time, we don't know. As we mentioned, Iceland are in the qualifiers, so which is about right, isn't it? You know what I mean? France won that group. Dean played in their first game that they won 2-1, the game that won them the group. He won them the penalty that won the game. So that's good for him.
Yeah, great.
So, you know, going in, he does seem like he's the first choice left back now.
Well, you know, they were talking about Mendy, but I know Mendy's been in and out at City, but he was the first choice, but Dean's the first choice.
Well, he played Mendy in the second game, but he played 3 at the back and played him as a wing back. So clearly, I don't know if they don't fancy him, but that's interesting. But Dean's obviously massively in the picture, and I think that's important for Everton, that he goes into the end of the season and he's, you know, chomping at the bit, because France it's a difficult team. It's a difficult team, and as well with the Euros the way they are. And if anyone's got any confusion why the Euros are the way they are, the simple fact is, when the bidding came up for the Euros, no one could afford to stage it. It was around 2010, 2011, and no one could afford it. Turkey wanted to, but they just couldn't. There was not enough money.
The next one is though. The next one's somewhere, isn't it?
It is definitely somewhere. It's Germany.
Yeah,
but it's definitely somewhere.
What I meant was it's back in one country.
It's Germany, and then Platini said, "Oh, it's the 50th anniversary of the Euros.
Let's take it round Europe.
So let's take it round Europe." That's not the truth.
I mean, the reality of it is, at first I was like, it's going to be crap, it's going to be diluted, but when those two teams walk out onto the pitch...
Well, for us, it means nothing.
No.
It means nothing. We watch it means nothing. I think it doesn't become that festival of football. No. It doesn't become fans all in one place.
No.
And they've made the right choice by putting the final England, because England won't be in the final. So, it makes perfect sense.
I don't know.
No, I know, I'm only messing. But the fact that I think they're playing in Dublin, playing in Paris, so you can't, for us, we could conceivably just go, fancy a little Toffee TV trip to Dublin to watch a game.
Well, the thing about, there is that. The thing about it is, though, when it's like Dublin and Paris and things like that, I mean, those distances are only what some countries are aware about it anyway. It's, especially when the World Cup was in Russia, there was like 5-hour flights between two venues and stuff. So, where it...
They need to bring that song out again, don't they? From Paris to Milan and every disco there.
Yeah. So interesting.
It'll be an interesting...
It's different, but it'll be interesting to see.
And as you said, once you switch that telly on, it makes no difference.
For us, spotting it in our living room, it doesn't matter where it is, really, but it's only... You do love that. I do love that, like the studio in the square.
But the logistics will be interesting, because, it's all right saying, but normally they have a base, and it'll be like, well, if we're all over Europe, do we just stay in our own country? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you, why would England go anywhere? Why don't they just go? We'll just fly in for the day, or fly in the night before, like you would for like a Champions.
Probably stay at St George's Park, won't they?
It's basically just going to be like the Champions League.
Yeah.
Just go the night before, go to a hotel, train on the pitch the night before, play and come home. But I do feel like that does take something away from it, though, because it just becomes like a. There is something about everyone. Also the fans as well. There's something about all the fans being there together. That
studio, mate, when they're all milling down below and you've got them all in, and you can see it behind.
But maybe I don't know. Maybe they'll all make it. No, it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense.
I mean, the semis and the final are at Wembley, so that does make it feel almost like it's a home tournament, but it won't, because the
other game, the group games will be.
No, but what I was going to say is those games are.
So hang on.
The kind of games that fans don't.
So will England play an England game in England then?
I think so, yeah. Which will make it interesting.
So I hope it's not at Wembley then.
It will be. There's no other place.
Is that it?
It's like Wembley, Dublin. I'm not sure if Hampden's involved. I mean, if only we had someone off camera, or if someone on camera. No, because you've got that.
Don't you literally want me to start looking?
No, I don't. Paris, definitely. So at least for us, we could go.
Just like 4.
Could we get tickets for Dublin? We could go.
I mean, I could look, but I'm not going.
No, but it's
not going to. Just seen something that caught my eye, and I'm going to put my laptop here, so apologies. But just about VAR.
A thing we love.
But basically, it was a question of how it works in the Liga and Serie A and stuff, because obviously we've had, and the Bundesliga, because we've had it's been, let's be honest, it's been a bumpy start to VAR, life with VAR. So in the Bundesliga, how well did it work initially? So it was introduced in 2017 in Germany. It was taking a long time to come to decisions, and there was confusion in the stadiums.
Sounds familiar.
There was nothing on the screens, and you didn't know if there was even a VAR checking operation. Yeah. Okay? So basically, Germany's professional game match officials board got together in a mid-season break of 2017-18 and decided to use the pitch side monitors more, which is something you've been banging on about. But then that went the other way because there was overuse of them.
Okay.
So they weren't happy with that. But now they've got to a happy medium, whereas the referees on certain decisions will use it. And there's no berating the referees now because it goes to VAR. They know it does.
Did anyone tell the FA any of this?
I don't know.
Because what I always think is like, if someone else has done something before you, you can sort of learn the lessons without having to go through it yourself.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you should be halfway down the road before the problems are. Bit like when you're on a plane and there's a plane in front of you saying, listen, there's turbulence here. But the FA have just switched all that off and just gone straight in at first, haven't they? So they're saying there was an incident in last Friday's Cologne-Hoffenheim game. And it was as good
Isn't it always, though?
Always. It's always them. Cologne,
always
Hoffen.
Cologne.
When I see
Cologne, they stink. Absolutely stink.
When I saw there was an incident, I thought it'll be Cologne-Hoffenheim. Always is. Classic. A penalty was given to Hoffenheim deep in added time, but the incident was initially...
Is he a German fella?
Yeah.
Added time?
Added time. It was initially missed by the referee. It was a clear foul. VAR flagged it. The referee had got it wrong, but overturned it on advice, and the visitors won the game. It was a flawless process, really quick, and took between 45 and 90 seconds to do it, which is what you want, isn't it? They give VAR in Germany 8 out of 10.
Well done. Added time.
La Liga says there was teething problems when it was first introduced 2018. The problem with La Liga VAR was that every little thing was being checked for at the very start of it. The fans had the same levels of frustration as those in England. It'd be normal for games to have 7 or 8 minutes of added time.
The irony is we don't.
No. Well, no, we don't. The big change this season has been that the reviews are much quicker, and if they review something that they immediately see is not going to be clear, they leave it and move on. Now, this is the thing, isn't it? This is the thing. Apparently, Dele Alli handball was looked at 27 times in the Everton Spurs game the other week before they said no penalty.
To try and make sure it wasn't handball.
Yeah, it was, but to try and think of a way around it. What these are saying is, you look at it immediately, if it looks like a penalty, it's a penalty. Don't look for ways to get out of it. Don't go, is he leaning on him there? Yeah. If it hits his hand, it's a penalty, and this is what they've done this year.
If the ref had seen it in real time and had seen him hit his hand, would he
give
it?
Yes, he would have. He wouldn't have gone, oh, hang on, was there a push? He'd have given the penalty, and this is the thing.
Problem,
and to be fair, that's what the Premier League have told Everton.
Yeah.
That when you look at it, it was a penalty. Yeah. It should have been given. So
Thanks
VAR, I know.
Thanks
so they're saying it's settled down in Spain now, and they're only using it for big stuff, and it's that quick decision. Have a look at it. Does that look like a penalty? Yes, it does, penalty. So 7 out of 10 there. Italy, again, it was slow when it was introduced in 2017. Not great for fans' perspective. Long wait, killing the enjoyment. Blah, blah, blah. Simeone Inzaghi complained most vociferously, saying he wanted to quit Serie A altogether because of the way with his Lazio team. It's a lot quicker now. Referees chief said that there were far fewer red cards for violent conduct because they know it'd be picked up by VAR, so they weren't able to get away with it. I thought this was interesting. In January 2018, Italy opened the world's first VAR training centre at the Italian FA headquarters in Coverciano. The idea was to make referees more expert in the use of VAR. Again, why aren't the English FA over in Coverciano? Knobs. Very
loud.
7 out of 10 they give it. Technology works well. The process is a lot quicker. Problem is incorrect human interpretation like the UK. And League One. I'm going to read League One. League 1. I'm going to learn. Right.
France.
For its introduction in 2018, that very bad press. Week in, week out, there was problems with it. Referees were making obvious mistakes. But now there's even more criticism against referees than VAR, which is what we're seeing here.
And you do not want to get on the wrong side of the French.
No. This season is even worse than last season. It is good when it changes obvious errors, and it is fair if a player is offside by 2 or 3 metres. But we are judging offsides badly. This is our French writer, by the way, who's doing this. The point is not to overturn a goal if a player is 1 centimetre offside. Thank you. They draw a line and rule out a goal if an armpit or a chin is offside. Football's supposed to be a human sport, but there are huge stoppages. I was never pro-VAR, but it's creating more problems than before. They need to have a meeting and discuss this. Overall rating of VAR in France, 3 out of 10.
There you go. Your VAR summary.
I mean, but one thing's clear that, okay, France apart, that it had issues at the very start. It can improve. But what was key in the improvements there is that the governing bodies wanted to improve, spoke to the managers, spoke to things. How do we do it? Make quick decisions. If you're looking at a VAR, you look at it maybe 3 times maximum. 3 times. Does that look like a penalty? Yes, it's not 27 views to make sure you can somehow say that it isn't a penalty. So
there you go.
There you go.
There you go.
That's Footy Show for this week.
That's the Footy Show for this week. Amazing. International football. Baz loves it. He can't wait. He's got a big calendar and he's literally just taking the days off to the not the Euros till the semi-final, final qualifier things.
I mean, it sounds like you're doing that. I'm literally now thankful that for 5 months there's no international football.
I'm just living my life.
That's what
free and easy.
You should do. That's what you should do.
Anyway, there you go. Thanks for watching.
There you
We'll see
go.
you later.